Hey there! Did you know that small businesses are extremely vulnerable to attack from cyber criminals right now? And that most don't survive for more than 6 months after a cyber incident? John Byrne here, entrepreneur, insurance professional, online educator and founder of Surviving Cyber. My goal is to help small business owners and managers like you get to grips with this complex subject of cyber risk. You may be struggling now to clearly see the big picture, but once you separate the myth from the truth, you can begin to significantly reduce your risk. Over the next 15 days, through this video series, I'm going to walk you through 15 dangerous cybersecurity myths you probably believe. I'll explain the thinking behind each myth, why it's dangerous to believe it, and the truth you need to hear so that your small business can stay safe. Now, before we dive in, I want to give you access to my free Cyber Resilience Workshop. It's a 60-minute video workshop that will show you how to create your first survival plan for your small business in 30 days. It's full of practical tips that you can implement. If you don't already have access, use the link survivingcyber.com/workshop to register now. I'll also put that link in the video description below. Now, today, as we continue the video series, we're going to explore myth number 5. Cybersecurity is too complicated for small businesses to manage. I hope you're ready to dive in. I'm John Byrne, and this is 15 dangerous cybersecurity myths you probably believe. Welcome to myth number 5. Cybersecurity is too complicated for small businesses to manage. Now, this myth is very dangerous because it seeks to avoid responsibility on the grounds of complexity. And there is no doubt that cybersecurity can be a complicated subject. However, I hope to show you that there are responses to this complexity that are within the grasp of every management team. But let's explore the myth first. So, the thinking goes, I can't understand this complex topic, it's beyond me. I'm not a cybersecurity expert and I don't wish to become one. Very reasonable thinking. It is a complex topic. However, it is not beyond the ability of most management teams to come up with a way of dealing with the risk without becoming a cybersecurity expert, as I will show you. The thinking goes on to say, I feel completely out of my depth and I can't manage what I don't understand. Again, just an extension of what we've already said. It is true that it's difficult to manage a risk that you don't understand. However, you do not need to be a cybersecurity expert to manage cyber risk. You simply need to have the right procedures in place to be able to do so, and a basic understanding of the principles involved. The third point on the slide is I don't know where to start with this difficult topic. I don't have the framework, I don't have the structure for managing this risk. And again, very sensible thinking. However, the frameworks and the structures are not complicated and don't need to be complicated in order to have a reasonable grasp of managing the risk. It is a dangerous myth to think that it's too complicated for a small business because it's seeking to avoid responsibility for managing the risk because of complexity. Cybersecurity can be complicated and the urge to avoid the problem is very understandable. However, as we've said in previous points, all risks of the business have to be managed and cyber risk is no different. So complexity is no reason to avoid the issue. So let's look at the truth behind this myth. Truth number 5, putting in place the basic technology controls, people training and governance structures is not complicated and doesn't need to be. As I've said, cybersecurity is a complicated topic and the environment is constantly changing. However, the basic technology controls that every small business needs to put in place are well known and they're not in dispute. this is an interesting point. Cyber Essentials, the UK government-backed scheme, proposes 5 basic technology controls which are well accepted and well accepted internationally. So it's not that we don't understand what needs to be done. For small companies to get a control over their technology risk, what needs to be done is well understood. Putting the controls in place doesn't need to be complicated. And as we've said, it's an excellent start to adopt Cyber Essentials as your building block of your cybersecurity. It reduces the exposure to the most common internet-based threats by 80%. So this is a massive reduction in risk. And putting these controls in place may convince the opportunist cyber criminal that he'd be better off, or she would be better off, moving on to another business where these controls are missing. People training is a vital component of any cybersecurity approach. This is the second point to take into account. The modern approach to people training is provided on cloud-based platforms, and these provide interactive and engaging video-based modules of education. Accessing the platforms is easy, and even for a small company, it can be within their IT budget. So no excuse on the people side. And finally, governance structures don't need to be overcomplicated in a small company, but they do need to cover the basics and the essential areas. The principle is that the board of directors has to lead from the front and lead these cybersecurity efforts by establishing the right mindset, the strategy, and then the tactical plan for cyber risk. Key issues will include ensuring that there is some form of reporting to the board, some evidence that the board is managing the risk. Having a cyber incident response plan, again, doesn't need to be hugely complicated, but there must be a plan to respond to an incident, and considering adopting an information security standard such as Cyber Essentials or indeed ISO 27001. Not all companies will get to the information security standard. However, all companies should have reporting and all companies should have an incident response plan. Thanks so much for watching today's video. I hope you found it helpful in exploding this myth and revealing the truth. Don't forget to register for the video workshop using the link survivingcyber.com/workshop or click on the link in the video description below. I hope to see you tomorrow as we dive deeper into 15 dangerous cybersecurity myths you probably believe, so we can uncover the truth of how to keep your small business safe.